What do you want to eat next week?
I was thinking sandwich, but now cannot.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yani Data and I design visual systems in my bullet journal. So in this video, I'm going to try to challenge myself to design an ideal meal planning and grocery spread that will hopefully fix a lot of meal planning issues that I still currently face. And then I'm going to take you along with me as I use this spread to go grocery shopping. And this video is actually the second part of a 3-part series on health and fitness related spreads in my bullet journal. So if you haven't watched the first one yet on the plate method, I highly recommend you watch that first because I'm going to be referring to it a lot in this video. So I know that making a meal planning and grocery list spread in my bullet journal could literally be as simple as drawing a table for my weekly meal plan and writing down a grocery list. And I actually used to do this a few years back. But in this video, I decided to challenge myself a little bit and try to design a spread that not only functions as intended, but also streamlines and improves my whole process of meal planning and grocery shopping. So as you will see here, I actually came up with 9 challenge statements or problem statements that I wanted to solve. And I'm going to attempt to somehow address each one through the features or the functionalities of this spread. Honestly, when I was filming this, I didn't really know how effective this will be yet, but let's see how it goes. So the first problem is having to always ask the question, what do you want to eat? So we really want to reduce or eliminate decision fatigue when it comes to deciding what we want to have for dinner this week, or what I want to cook tonight for that matter. It's just one less decision we have to make after a stressful day of making decisions every minute of every day. And then the second issue is that me and my husband actually have different dietary lifestyles. I am on keto or a low-carb lifestyle, and he eats a more of a normal diet with rice, bread, noodles, and all of that. And it'll be a lot of effort to cook different meals for both of us, so that's something I also need to figure out. And that is also connected to the third point, which is I just really want to simplify cooking in general because I don't have enough time or energy at the end of the day sometimes. I already tried other strategies like freezing meals or batch cooking, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. But basically, I just want to find that perfect balance of efficient and easy to make meals, but still tasty and healthy food. Another thing is I really want to reduce our food waste. It's not that we don't finish our meals all the time or that we don't eat them as leftovers. It's more the waste of fresh produce like vegetables, which don't really get fully utilized by the end of the week, so I usually end up having to throw them out. And of course, we also know that wasted food is wasted money. So if we could buy just exactly what we need and utilize all of it, then that will actually address these two issues. We already don't buy unnecessary food when doing grocery shopping. So if it's not in my grocery list, then I don't buy it. So I'm just looking for a way to streamline our food purchases even further. The next one is related to my last video on creating healthier habits following my specific diet, but in this case, I want to extend this goal for both me and my husband who is not following a keto or low-carb diet. Next, I just want the process of meal planning to be as painless as possible. When we first got married, I would literally go on Pinterest like every week for meal ideas, and then I'd pin my meals for that week, and then I'd have to list down the respective ingredients of those meals and then write out a grocery list for the week. But then on some days I would be too tired to cook, or we would be going out somewhere, so I actually won't end up using those fresh ingredients, and hence again the food waste issue. And that leads to my next point, which is I just want the flexibility to be able to change my meal plan in case I won't be able to follow it to a T. But still, I want me and my husband to be eating healthy meals instead of takeout, which we still are doing a lot. Okay, not a lot, but now and then. And then finally, I also want to make the activity of grocery shopping more efficient. So more efficient means that I no longer have to go to the store the next day because I forgot to buy something. I won't have to carry around my heavy bullet journal notebook when grocery shopping, because that's where I wrote my list. Not having to go back to the front of the store because I forgot to pick up something that I wrote at the end of the list, etc. Okay, so now that I have all of these problem statements for myself, I'm gonna brainstorm a few solutions or strategies and see how those can be translated in my spread. But instead of tackling each problem one by one, I'm gonna do it 3 at a time, which you'll see here. So on the first problem on decision fatigue, I decided it would maybe be best to stick to all-time favorites or go-to categories of meals that we like to eat. So I asked my husband what kind of meals he prefer eating, and it seems that the top 3 favorites are sandwiches, rice-based dishes, and noodle-based dishes like ramen or pasta. And within that category, I will also take note of the top 3 or top 5 favorite dishes of all time. That means his favorite sandwiches, favorite noodle dishes, etc. And that way I can't go wrong even if I cook like literally any one of these. And then on the issue of different diets, I figured I could either modify my plate method, which means I'm gonna use my meals as a basis, and then modify it a bit for his diet, like through adding carbs or turning it into a sandwich or rice-based dish. Or I could ketofy his meals. Like for example, I could perhaps make a chicken salad sandwich for him, and then a chicken salad lettuce wrap for myself. And then to simplify the cooking process, I probably won't be batch cooking the entire meal, but I would perhaps batch prep some components of these meals. Like for example, I could make a batch of chicken salad for the entire week, but not necessarily pre-prep the sandwich. Or I could make a batch of salad dressings for my salads for this week. Or I could also choose meals or categories of meals that are quick to cook and assemble, which as you can see, that is the case like most of the time. Sandwiches and stir-fried dishes are quick to cook. So now that I have all of these strategies, you will see that I'm drawing 3 columns for these 3 categories of food, and each column can fit 5 meal stickers. So this is where I'm gonna add my husband's 5 favorite dishes for each category, and also maybe the top 3. But also I want to allow room for experimentation and trying new things. So that's why I've also added these boxes below, which can fit 2 stickers of new dishes to try. And then let's say those or any one of those new dishes make it to the top 3 or top 5, then I'll just adjust my ranking accordingly and, I don't know, demote a dish. Next, you'll also notice that I'm using the same plate template as in my last spread or my last video, just that I've modified it a bit for my husband's diet. So I'm mainly using the same template to list the key ingredients according to my plate legend, and this will come in handy later, or I'm gonna explain it later. But basically, now that that's done, let's have a look at the next 3 problem statements. So on the first one on eating healthier, again, that is why I've adopted the plate method for both mine and my husband's meal idea list. And for my husband's list, I'll basically try to make sure that all dishes here are wholesome, healthy dishes using whole ingredients as much as possible, so no processed food or anything like that. And then as for reducing food waste and saving money, as I mentioned earlier, the strategies for one is the same for the other. So my idea is that when it comes to meal planning, I'll be choosing dishes for the week that mostly revolve around the same or similar fresh produce or ingredients, and that is so that I could make the most use of those ingredients, and not like I have one meal that uses only like 1/4 of a carrot or 1/2 of a carrot. And I'm also gonna mostly choose recipes or simple recipes that doesn't necessarily have a lot of ingredients, especially ingredients that I don't usually use a lot of. So that is why you'll notice that for both mine and my husband's go-to dishes, I'm referring to pretty much the same list of foods here in my plate cheat sheet. So these are basically all the foods that we buy all the time and we also eat all the time, just in different proportions. Finally, we've come to the last 3 stickies. So on the first one on easier meal planning, I already know that I actually don't need to plan all 5 meals. Oh wait, all 3 meals for all 7 days of the week. In the first place, because I don't really eat breakfast and my husband also doesn't eat lunch at home. Also, again, planning for all of the days of the week in advance will just result to a lot of stress for me, and it won't allow for that flexibility that I really need. So instead, I just need like 3 to 4, sometimes maybe 2 to 4 meal ideas a week. And then some of them can be repeated throughout the week. So that is why in this meal plan flip out strip, I've only allowed spots for 4 main meals here, and then say 2 extra side dish or dessert that I probably want to make that week. And also, instead of having to manually write my meal plan on a fixed page for every week, all I want to do is just move stickers around from my meal ideas page onto my meal plan page so that I won't have to keep rewriting. And that's also why I'm actually using these heavier duty 3M tabs or stickers instead of the normal post-it tabs, which may fall off after a while. And then for added flexibility, this is where my grocery list and pantry staples really come in. So if, let's say, I feel like going off the menu, I should be able to whip up like literally any dish as long as I have all the pantry staples on hand, like spices, seasoning, sauces, dried produce like rice, noodles, etc. And as long as we have like a few fresh produce like meats and vegetables. So that brings me to the 9th problem statement and the last, which is on efficient grocery trips. So here's where I actually make my actual grocery list. And you'll notice that I'm just typing up this list instead of writing it down, so that way I could reprint it if necessary. But basically, I realized that one way to make my grocery trips more efficient is not only to group these foods by the general categories in my grocery list, but also to arrange the categories in the natural order or sequence of the aisles that we visit in our actual favorite grocery shop or grocery store. So for example, in our grocery store, when we first enter, we come to the fruit section first, and then the cheese section, and then the veggie section, and so on. So I'm actually listing or arranging the food categories in my grocery list according to that sequence so that I will not have to retrace my steps and then pick up something later on that is actually at the back of my grocery list. And the other thing I did was I made sure that this list is actually detachable and separate from my bullet journal. And the reason why is so that I don't have to carry a basket in one hand and my notebook in the other and struggle to cross things off in that list. Let me tell you that I've been doing that for quite a long time. Also, I'm worried I'm going to lose my bullet journal, which is basically the worst thing that will ever happen. So if I make it detachable like this, all I have to do is bring the list itself, which so happens to fit just nicely in my wallet. I think in the future I'm going to have this laminated so that it's more durable, and then I could just like wipe off the tick marks so that I could keep reusing it over and over again. So now that my spread is finished and pretty much all 9 problem statements I made for myself have been addressed to some extent, I want to show you how I use the spread, but instead of explaining, I thought that perhaps you could just watch me do actual meal planning and then grocery shopping with my husband. So enjoy! What do you want to eat next week?
I was thinking sandwich, but now cannot. No more sandwiches.
You can have sandwich.
No chips, then no sandwich. Ramen.
I promise I won't eat your chips.
Ramen.
Ramen?
Yeah.
Which one?
This one.
Okay. Oops.
Yay. I like the logos.
And
Nice.
then one more? I promise I won't eat your chips.
Sandwich.
Okay, which one?
That one.
Egg drop?
There's only one sandwich I see.
It's 2.
Others also. The one that you make, the chicken salad one.
Okay. Is this your all-time favorite?
Yeah. You make the best chicken salad sandwich.
Sometimes.
Always.
Okay.
Without the pickle.
Okay, without the pickle.
No more pickle.
No pickle.
No pickle.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Now I choose mine. Maybe this. Okay, 3 meals enough.
Wait.
What?
Wait a minute.
What?
How come my circles have this whole green missing? Am I not eating? My circle looks very poor.
This is carbs. I can't eat carbs.
Yeah, so color it nicely. It looks like I'm eating incomplete meal. And your ones look like you're eating full balanced diets.
You are eating a balanced diet. It's just not green, okay? Have you ever seen green bread?
No, but it's no color. White looks empty. It's like I am eating incomplete, undernourished food.
I'll give you another color. Maybe not that green.
Yeah.
Maybe blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Just not blank.
Not blank.